Welcome to Sitting with Spirit, my loves. When I was sitting with Spirit, I got this image and it was so powerful that I wanted to cry of witches from every time, every place, every type of witch in spirit making a circle around us. And they were all singing a song in their own language that was a song of power to them. And it came through to me as this series of chanting and vibrations that felt so rhythmic and tribal and urgent. And basically, the message is we have been singing our song to you here on earth to help you remember. And now the song is being turned up in a more urgent way. We are singing louder, and the veil is getting thinner, and you can hear our music more. And I got this deep chills of this primal, pure goddess energy of the women in their power from all timelines and places, supporting us through a moment where it's more imperative than ever for us to heal our witch wound, for us to remember our strength, for us to remember our power, for us to remember our connection with spirit, and for us to remember who we really are. And this ties into our ancestors, our great grandmothers taking up the totem and singing this song with us. And it's this lineage of power that we're being reminded of. And the song feels more urgent and pitched to me now. And here's something that's very interesting about this as well, is that there's laces of this righteous anger, this anger of the divine feminine at the bastardization of the human experience and what's important. And it is righteous and it is deep and it is primal. And they're asking us to feel it and not let it be all consuming, but let it fuel our powerful rebirth of where we want the world to go next. And why isn't our vision of a new world just as important as the people at the top who are in this evil mode of greed and so disconnected from their soul? And so I just feel this sense of like all of these witchy women in a circle, all of their different beliefs, spiritual practices, and oral traditions throughout timelines, weaving together in this powerful way that is in the womb of all of us, in the cauldron of our womb, ready to spill over. And that's what I feel is like they're crying their tears into our cauldron of our womb space and asking us to move forward in a legacy of power, in a legacy of magic, and in a legacy of truth, because we have strayed so far from it. And the message that I get from them is that many of us here who chose to come back have walked with them as sisters. And so a lot of us with the witch wound, all of us with the witch wound, have had lifetimes where we were connected to magic and spirit and priestesshood and nature. And some of our spirit guides are our sisters who walked with us in that tradition, in that lifetime, helping us remember now. And so those people singing their song, weaving this basket of remembrance around us in a sacred container for us to explore. They're spirit guides that you know, that you have walked with in your most magical lifetimes, and that they are supporting you to remember that. And you were one of the selfless souls who decided to come back and make a difference here on earth. So that's one of their messages too. I also got, as I was getting that message, I saw my third eye lighting up. And I do feel like we're in a time where psychic phenomenon and the veil is getting thinner. And so it's like more imperative than ever to not just trust our head, but to trust our heart and our third eye as well, and the truth of our throat chakra as well. And so I see psychic development, intuitive development, mediumship, people coming online, people being attracted to this work. It's like at a fever pitch. And it coincides with this witchy song getting louder and louder and louder until we have no choice but to remember the music that's a part of us. And so follow that. So moving on to the messages from our angels now. I saw a swan as an animal guide. And when I see swan as an animal guide, it is the sign of a late bloomer and a transformation and a trusting the timing. So swan is such a graceful animal guide, and it's all about transitioning into the most powerful, beautiful version of self yet. And so if you feel frustrated, if you feel like things are coming later than you want them, if you feel like things are taking time to develop, just know that you're being led by this beautiful swan energy that's helping you bloom in perfect timing. And when I see swan, I always like to say the best is still yet to come. And so the last message that I want to give is a message that I've shared before, but feels really important to share again, which is it's not our job to heal our family or change their consciousness. And it can be so difficult to be a part of a family with a different consciousness than you, or a part of a family that rewards dynamics that are toxic. And I always say healthy cannot coexist with sick. And it can be so difficult that when you start to create boundaries or stand in your power or protect your light, they withhold love from you because you're no longer doing the dance of toxicity. And I completely understand that. And the message here is that for many of the people listening here, if not everyone, we are people doing the spiritual work. We're highly sensitive. We know there's more to life than just materialism and productivity. And we can see so clearly the diagnoses on our family, the advice we would give our family, how they could live a better life. We see it so clearly. But it's not our business. If they don't come to us for advice, we can't give them that because they're not in the consciousness to receive it. And they're almost the people least likely to listen to us, because when you're in the same family with them, there's like a whole host of history and dynamics. It's like we're the last people they will respect to give messages. And so as a quote unquote light worker, which I'm not like, shaming any type of phrase. I'm my own my own self. And sometimes I'm like, I don't like to say things that everybody says. I like my own language and I like my own feeling with it. I don't have a problem with light worker, but it's the closest term I can say right now for what I'm trying to say. That as somebody trying to foster the light and go on a healing journey and help other people, even being born into a family of different consciousness of people that you see they need healing isn't about healing them. It's about creating the structure, boundaries, and framework to protect your own light, no matter the circumstances that your family create. That was your lesson of incarnating into that family. And it can be so painful when we don't want to leave them behind or we feel guilty. But if you have to exist in a dynamic where you have to betray yourself to get love, that is not real love. And the best we can do for our family is always be loving to them, but firm in our boundaries and set an example. Lead by example. And if they want to come to you, they will. And if not, love them for where they're at to the best of your ability. And it can be so, so painful. And I completely understand that. But that's a place where we can give our power away, where it feels so painful, where a lot of our energy drains go. But truly, our lesson to incarnate into a family like that is breaking cycles. And part of that is healthy boundaries, self-love, and leading by example. And that's really the best we can do. And that is such an important message today, especially coming up on the Cancer new moon. It's like such a time of ancestral healing and lineages. And that's why I wanted to do the ancestral healing guided meditation for Earth Angel Club. By the time this comes out, that will be last week's, because it's so prevalent right now. And it's so ripe right now for memory and nostalgia and inner child and inner world and mother wounds. And all those things are coming up because the Cancer Capricorn axis is all about mother, father, home, all of those themes. And so just be in your truth, protect your light, because that is how you will ultimately be able to show up in the world in a way that not only helps yourself, but helps the other people who actually need you, which as difficult as it can be, if your family isn't asking for it, they're not the ones that need it then, because they won't be open to it. Or maybe they need it, but because they're not open to it, it will never be received. So I hope this message helps whoever needs it, and send it to whoever needs it so that more people hear this. And I just want to open it up to you, Claire. Anything else you want to say about that?
I'm just so blown away by the vision of those witches in a circle chanting with us and walking with us and helping us remember our magic. I often think about the women that came before, and there's like a heaviness in my heart thinking about their experiences on earth and how their light wasn't fostered and their gifts weren't encouraged, and they had a limited experience because their societies didn't value them. And imagining them in this powerful sisterhood supporting us and pouring their love and magic into us, I will think about that all day. That is so beautiful and powerful and encouraging. I am so moved by that.
Oh, I feel the same way. And I was so grateful to receive that message. And I also found it so poignant how the music's getting louder as the veil gets thinner, and how we can hear it more, and how it's never been more important for us to not only hear the music, but learn a new dance along with this music as well.
Yes.
Yes. Well, have a beautiful, beautiful week, everyone. This magic hour was certainly full of a lot of different types of questions and waves of emotions. We laughed, we cried. There was a lot in this magic hour. So take a moment after this to just integrate, maybe journal, maybe digest, maybe sit in the presence of your angels, whatever you need to do, because it's been a very, very full magic hour. And we're just so, so grateful to have you here. So thank you so, so much.